I have a question that a friend of mine asked me, okay, let's believe God exists. How will you prove the existence of Allah? Maybe you can answer.
Alright, this brother asked a question that a friend of his asked him that how can we prove that Allah exists, right? Okay. Two answers. The first answer is that we don't have to prove. Why? The burden to prove that God exists does not lie on the people who believe that God exists. It lies on the people who do not believe that God exists. And let me prove how. This is the most important thing. You know, atheist or agnostic, they will simply say, well, you are the believers, therefore you claim God exists, so it is your responsibility to provide the evidence. Wrong. It is their responsibility to provide the evidence. How come? You have to understand the definition of claimant and defendant. Who is the defendant and who is the claimant? Or plaintiff. Defendant is a person who maintains his position, and claimant or plaintiff is a person who makes a claim against a status quo. For example, I live in my house. I've been living in my house for the last 30 years, and you come and you say, this house is not yours, the house belongs to me. And I say, well look, I have been living in my house, this house belongs to me. Who is the defendant and who is the plaintiff here? I am the defendant and you are the plaintiff. Why? Because I maintain the status quo and you are claiming against the status quo, right? So, who has to prove? If the case goes to the court, then burden to prove is on you or on me? It's on you. Why? Because you're going against the status quo, I am not. Now, let's apply the same analogy. People who believe in God, they maintain the status quo from day one, according to anthropology. From day one, from the time we have record about human being, human beings have been believing in God or gods. So they have been maintaining the status quo. But who is the first atheist? The first atheist was only 2300 years ago. His name is Democritus. It means human being, if we believe in evolutionary biology, human beings have been existed for last 100,000 years, and they have been believing in the concept of God. But 2300 years ago, a man comes and he says that I don't believe in God. So who went against the status quo? A person who rejected the concept of God. Therefore he is the claimant. He is the plaintiff. Therefore the right of burden is, the burden to prove is on him, not on me. Okay? That is the first answer. The second answer, we have tons of arguments. We have tons of arguments. And we can go on and on. But a simple, the most basic argument is, give me one example, one tiny example from the whole universe, something that came into existence on its own. Something that came into existence on its own. I am not asking a complex being. I'm not asking. I'm asking a simple being. The simplest existence that ever existed in this universe. Did it exist on its own? Or it has a cause? It will always has a cause. So if everything has a cause, the universe has a cause. That cause is called God. Now the question is that why do we call that cause God? The reason is that if that cause is does not have a decision-making power, then the effect, which is the universe, will have the same age as the age of the cause. You understand why? Because if the cause has no decision-making power, it was just a cause, then as soon as the cause existed, the effect existed. If the cause is eternal, the effect has to be eternal. If the cause of this universe is eternal, then the universe will be eternal. Is this universe eternal according to scientific theories? No. Therefore, the cause once upon a time decided to create the universe. Therefore, the cause has a decision-making power. And therefore, we call that cause God, because God has a decision-making power. Simple. It's called the commonsensical argument.